Hello and welcome to the Keep It or Change Cars podcast. My name is Gugu Masuku, your host. And as always, we always have a guest in the studio to chat about cars, to chat about motoring related things. And today we've got ourselves a motoring journalist who I've known for quite some time, a couple of years, Brendon Staniforth. Are you well?
I am. I'm exceptionally well.
You look well.
I am very well.
Yeah?
I'm slightly overweight and balding, but
That's
I am
fine.
well.
That's growth.
Yeah.
It's aging. We grow up.
Yeah.
We get overweight.
I think you're exaggerating.
Thanks
You're not
for
slightly
having-
overweight. You're not overweight at all.
Fortunately, I have clothes on, but yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
We
But
need
life
that.
is good. Life is good.
And
I
we
can't
keep the
complain.
clothes on for the duration of the podcast just for...
If it gets
safety
really
for
good,
you to
we can start. We'll start with a sticker on Gugu's cap, and then
If you take your clothes off, you're getting that sticker on you.
okay, good. Done.
Okay. But we're also joined by the owner of Change Cars, Michael Pashut. Pashut, how's it?
You pronounce it as you like. Even my own mother couldn't pronounce the family surname.
How's it? Okay, you go.
I'm good. It's lovely to be here. The correct pronunciation is Pashut. But can you imagine when they take
Pashut.
the U and they replace it with an I or an A? I'm not going to
Pashut,
say it on
Pashut.
air. Thank you for sharing it with the audience.
Pashut.
Correct.
Pashut.
Pashut.
But
Pashut.
awesome to be lovely to be in studio with you, Brendon. It's just a privilege.
That's good.
We've also got questions from you, the listener. Do you want to get into that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's take
prepared.
the question. Yeah.
So we've got Angus, who's 42 from Lone Hill, Joburg, and he works in Hatfield, right? So he says he uses a Gautrain to get to work and back in combination with Uber and his very trusted immaculate BMW 320i. It's a 2015 model, Sportline, with only 61,000 Ks on it. Now, the question he has is, should he keep the vehicle or replace it?
2015 is an E90.
30. Is it not F30?
F30.
F30, yeah.
It's an F30 320i.
Aren't you even going to ask me how I know that?
Please tell.
I researched it.
Google.
Not inherent knowledge.
Is it
I know the E30,
Yeah.
E36, and for the rest, I lost it.
There were many numbers after
Correct.
that.
It's all researched.
So, in my opinion, with that kind of mileage, immaculately maintained, he's possibly owned that car since new.
Yes. Yes.
Keep it.
Absolutely.
Just keep it.
as
Just
well.
absolutely keep it.
And it's paid off.
I'll add a second little caveat. Say, for instance, he earns a healthy car allowance, which there might now become a tax loss if he does not buy a new car. Sure, I suppose, okay, buy a new car for the sake of not giving SARS more of your money than you have to. But that BM 320i's don't have inherent issues.
No, they don't
They're
have
lovely to drive. 61,000 Ks. That
Car
car's still
looks
new.
modern. When you look at a 2015 or 2023, unless you are so up to date,
Yeah.
it looks like a new
If it
car.
was buggered,
Correct.
I'd say sure. But, let's say, for instance, a guy's like 2015 is 200,000 Ks on, is starting to use oil, run. Just run. Just leave the keys in it and bolt. But if it's my immaculate 60,000 Ks, that car is, especially because it's maintained, that car is good to 200,000 Ks.
Yeah.
Regardless of
exactly.
And he
Once
won't
you-
get
so-
there, correct. So what for me is interesting, and this is the essence of the show, in reality, that car's worth roughly 250,000 Rand if you try to sell it. In reality, that car's worth 600, 700,000 Rand to him. For him to replace it as a 700,000 Rand
yeah,
car,
yeah.
and that's for a 450,000 Rand car, he's not going to go forward. Keep it.
I'll add a side note. That car's paid off.
Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, he's comfortable with a 8 grand a month car repayment. Start a policy, a fixed deposit on debit order, put the 8 grand a month away. In 5 years' time, the car irritates you, it gets stolen.
Very clever.
You crash it. There's 600,000 Rand in the bank.
Chilling.
Plus the insurance money. You
You're
walk
750,000
and you
Rand.
buy a car cash. You don't have a repayment, especially if the money is not bothering him. And then you're earning interest. So you're earning, currently the interest rate is stupid. So you're earning, let's say
10%,
11%,
yeah.
10, 11% on a fixed deposit instead of paying 17%. Well, not 17, you won't get it. But let's say 13, 14% interest rate. So you're essentially shifting a 24% interest deficit by just keeping the car and putting the money one side. And if if you could afford $8,000 a month on a car, you probably own your house. But in 8 years' time, if the BM is still there, you're still like, bugger it. I'm going to take the near R1,000,000 that's in the bank and pay off the bond or buy a second house or whatever the case is.
CHANGECARS is looking for an additional managing director. Would you like the position, sir? No, but that is exceptional advice.
Yeah.
You can afford it. So instead of paying interest on it, earn interest on it.
Yeah.
Very, very, very
smart.
clever.
Yeah,
Honestly,
absolutely.
very clever.
Very, very smart.
And pivotal on that the car is maintained, it's in good condition.
And that's the end of the show, as we cannot offer any better advice going forward.
Angus, I hope you've gotten what you need. Keep the car, do not let it go, and be wise, save money.
But should you wish to sell it, consider change cars.
there we go.
We'll buy it from you, of course. Need advice? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Keep It or Change Cars tab. So, Brendon, you are quite an avid caravan person. I've known you for a while.
Yeah.
And I remember we had this conversation, was it this year or last year? I came up to you and I said to you, bro, it looks like you have a lot of fun with this whole caravanning thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, where's the fun? Why do you do it? And where's the fun in it? Maybe let's start there.
So, maybe context. So everyone's got a thing. So 10 years ago, all businessmen played golf.
Yes.
Now they all ride bicycles.
So true. Mountain biking.
Yeah. Some dudes surf.
Yeah.
For me, camping with my kids, you know what our schedules can be like. Last week, I left on Wednesday morning at 4, and I got home on Sunday after the racing.
But do you ever have a week where you work hard? Oh, sorry, apologies.
Sometimes. So the schedule can get a bit silly.
Yeah.
The camping and caravanning things with the family is not negotiable. So it was so close. There is a trip to Japan coming up later the year, and there was a possibility that trip would have been in April.
Yeah.
And I was away from the 1st to the 10th camping.
And that's solidly booked. You're not changing that.
It's booked. It's not changing. It's not fair to the kids.
Yes.
Because I'm away, let's say, roughly 2 nights a week, every week. And then we have 3 big holidays a year in the caravan. And if the car stuff started interfering there, it's not fair. Thank God it was not in April. It's moved to October, so it's great. But so that's our thing. We enjoy it. We love it. The kids really enjoy it. My wife enjoys it. It's just some time to sit down, do nothing, have a beer, braai,
Let the kids go play, like you said.
Swim. The kids, when we get there, literally, you pull in, when the caravan's you unhitched.
Yeah.
My kids are getting bigger now, so they're actually helping to set up camp. But then they're on their bicycles and they bolt.
Like how old, if I may ask, roughly?
So they're now 10, 12, 14,
Okay, nice.
and they've all had their birthdays.
So why I ask that, from a camping point of view, when you say they're getting older, so 10, 12, 14, they're not only part of the fun, they're part of the assistance.
Yeah. When they're 4, 6, and 8,
Can't help.
you take the bicycles out and you say, go away. And come back.
Makes it easier.
Come back when we're done.
Yeah.
We've just come back from Eiland, Articofia Eiland Spa, which is near Letsitele, between Letsitele and Guyane.
Limpopo.
In Limpopo, far north. That Monday, that was snowing in Joburg 2-3 weeks
28,
ago.
30 degrees there.
It was 34 when we left on the
I was in
Sunday.
Kruger. I was in the north of Kruger.
Yeah.
We came out Punta Maria Gate. I was sweating. I'm not even lying.
It was
to you.
lovely.
But you won't believe, I caravanned pretty recently. 5th of November, 1978.
First and last.
God is my witness. 1978 is right. I may be
First and
exaggerating.
last.
No, not last. It was with a family.
Yeah.
Caravanning for me has always been a nice to do, just for our audience.
Yeah.
Yes, if you're experienced, you've got the right tow vehicle, and you've got the right equipment, absolutely brilliant. However, how many people have that? If you're looking to get into caravanning, it ain't easy, surely. Not from a cost point of view, but knowing the right caravan, the right tow vehicle, the right place to go, the right wife to go with, the right girlfriend, either or, combination of.
So look, it's probably a bit more of a lifestyle, and it's the same as a dude that has golf bats and bicycles and what.
He doesn't play golf.
I don't.
Called clubs. I imagine on the Monday after this air, somebody say, "Tell your guest it's called clubs."
Golf clubs, not golf bats. Golf rackets.
Golf
They
bats.
have golf rackets, and so it's if you're in the Sure, we've ended up in marriage advice now. If you're married to the right person, there'll be space for your hobbies. Fortunately for my wife and I and the kids.
Share the same hobby.
Yeah, camping is our thing. It's our groove. We dig it. So you will know very early if you're a camper.
Of course.
And it will generally start out in tents. And tents are very uncomfortable and they leak. So then the equipment just gets bigger and better as you go along. In December, I'll digress slightly into a story about you saying, how do you pick the right wife? In December,
right caravan. It was the right wife.
We camp across from people. An old Paulie he's very English, and he lives in Hillcrest in Durban. Now, Hillcrest is posh and very English. And so I say to Paul, I'm like, Paulie, listen, how did this whole camping thing work? So he's like, bud, let me tell you. He met his wife many years ago.
She was from Kloof, I imagine.
Yeah, they went and he took her for a weekend away to some very lovely lodge. And she said, that was okay, but I'll take you away next week. And then we'll see how things go. And he was sort of like, yeah, this ungrateful chick, how's this going to happen?
How's she going to improve upon this 5-star lodge?
She took him camping and he was like, yo, babe, I'm like, I'm not sure, hey? So she said to him straight out of the gates, she's like, listen, camping is part of my future.
Yeah.
If you can camp, lacquer, we're doing this. If you can't camp, tell me now and then we're done.
It's not happening.
Tell me now and then we're done.
And he's camped since.
Yeah.
Is he a happy camper, though?
He is a happy camper. They got 3 kids. The first one's now heading out of varsity and what, but he has a proper caravan, properly comfortable. So that's sort of, look, where we did start.
Yeah.
2000 and where are we now? 2023. So probably about 2015-ish. Just after my mom passed, Leonora and I bought a caravan and we wanted the smallest caravan.
Hold on, let me guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was either a Gypsy or Sprite, but I'm going with Sprite.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I drink Sprites, but anyway, go ahead.
So it was a 1992 Sprite Sprint.
Yeah.
This tiny thing that I found in Nelspruit.
Yeah.
And so my thing is, I don't mind an old thing, but then it must be in perfect condition.
Yeah.
Your Merc.
Yeah.
It's like such a cool car.
Yeah.
And when it's in perfect condition, you just love it.
Proper.
Yeah, same thing. So I found this caravan. I said to Leonora, I think I found the caravan.
And this is
2015.
35 to 45 grand.
I paid strong for it. I paid 46.
46.
Yeah.
I was out by 1,000. Come on.
Yeah. I paid 46 for it, which was a lot of money, but it was perfect. It had the Adderams, the tents were virtually unused, what. So I said to Leonora, I think I found this caravan. She sees the picture. She's like, yeah, that's cute. That could work. In Brendon's brain, that was done.
Hundreds.
And I'd paid for it. I said to her, listen, we need to go fetch the caravan. So she's like, fetch? What do you mean fetch? Can we see it first? Oh, I already paid for it. Oh. So she's like, okay. We head out on the road, and eventually she says to me, listen, Nailstrom is a bit far today. I'm like, we're not going to Nailstrom, we're going to Nelspruit.
Oh, my word. I mean, Nelstrom's like 180, 200 Ks, more or less. Nelspruit's 360.
Yeah. So we head off to Nelspruit, we get there, get to see the caravan, lovely, all is dandy, hook the caravan, turn around and go home. We had that caravan for a year.
You would have sold it for very similar, if not more than what you paid for it.
Yeah, so I sold it for 42 to a guy, but I kept my adder room, so that's where that
right.
We did 10 camps in that first year with a little caravan, 3 kids. The space for the kids was getting a bit tricky, and it didn't have an island bed, so then I wanted an island bed. So I looked for a 92. I said to Leonora, I want a Super Sport. Super Sport's twice the size.
Is that the one you recently bought, or
It's the one I recently sold.
Oh, sold.
Yeah, so that one we had
the program.
That one we had for like 6 years.
Yeah.
So I show Leonora pictures of this Super Sport. I'm like, Bookie, look. So she's like, yeah, I see what you're showing me. But I also saw the number plate. No.
What was the plate?
T number plate store or something.
CA.
CA.
CA in Cape Town. So I say to her, okay, so listen, this caravan, it's the best condition one I can find. Can I buy it? She's like, dude, it's in Cape Town. Are you mad?
So in her mind, she's worried about having to drive 1,400 Ks to go fetch it. It's not about the rust or about the wet weather. It's just about the 1,400 Ks.
So I bought it. And a mate of mine and I drove down on a Friday afternoon to Beaufort West, slept, Saturday morning from Beaufort to Cape Town, hooked the caravan, drove back to Beaufort West, slept, and on Sunday drove home. I will say, Sunday evening, 6 or 7 o'clock, whatever it was, every time we got back, I died.
I mean, Beaufort West is 1,000 kilos roughly.
Absolutely shattered.
Want SA's leading insurance? Visit changecars.co.za and click on the Discovery logo. So we've got a few questions on caravanning. Obviously, Change Cars does sell caravans. We've got them on the site in case you're looking for one. Do you want to go for it?
Of course. So I'm a newbie to caravanning.
Yep.
It's just the two of us. We want to go in light. We've not got the family with us. 60, 70,000 Rand today. Can I start?
60, 70, you can. You do need to be very careful. So then my first piece of advice, if you're looking to do a caravan, you probably know a caravanner.
Sure.
Take them along. Take them along. You get used to knowing what to look for.
So that'll be you.
Yeah.
In this case.
Yeah. Your biggest.
Can I tell you what it is?
Biggest threat. Yeah.
Wood rot.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you know that?
No.
So they rot. So if it's made of wood, it's an aluminium and wood frame. It needs to be sealed annually. You service it like you service a car.
Wow.
So it has an annual service. I've just had my own little run-in with my new caravan. But anyways, and if it's not sealed properly and it gets wet, water goes in and the wood starts swelling. You know, like a piece of chipboard cupboard in your kitchen.
When it swells. Yeah.
And then when it swells, it's buggered.
Yeah.
Caravan.
Have you ever seen what Top Gear did to caravans, like old caravans?
Yeah.
Like when they towed them, a caravan, I think 110, ideally 120 max. At 130, your windows are going to start popping. At 140, they're going to pop hard. And at 150, the wood will go into the sky.
So I like to tow between 100 and 110. The trick is not towing. You can pull anything. New V6 Ford Everest Platinum.
Oh, the ability's there.
You can tow anything at 160. Stop it.
Oh, really?
Hey.
Stop.
Hectic. What are we looking at weight-wise for like
So
your
caravans
caravan?
aren't that heavy. My caravan's 1.3 tons.
But what would like an exclusive be, which is a big
1.8.
double wheel? I mean, that's pretty much as big as it gets today.
Yeah. So there's a new brand.
Quantum.
So CI, Sprite, Jurgens, Gypsy has gone bankrupt. I believe I actually want to do an article on it. I believe the guys from Loftus Caravans in Randburg own the rights to the CI name and those plans and things. But there is 2 or 3 bigger names now. So Sensation, who used to do boats, they then did Sensation Caravans. I think they've started a second name now, which is Destination. Destination is the caravans, Sensation is the boats.
Yeah.
Then you get a Swift Coastline. I think it's an imported thing. And then there's an Octo. So
Seen
there's
that.
all these new names and
Isn't there
things
also
coming
something
out.
called Quantum?
Yes. So they're seriously expensive. They're like anywhere between 500 and 800 grand.
Jeez.
But dude, they're like
It's like a home on wheels.
proper.
But they've got
hotel rooms.
air cons. They've got inverters.
Self-leveling suspensions.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Insane.
But now, I always like to look back to something I can relate. The biggest name in caravans before CI went out was Jurgens. So you got Sprite, which was entry level.
Yeah.
Gypsy was middle of the range. Both of them no toilets. And then Jurgens, however you want to pronounce it, had toilets. But what was the biggest, most luxurious caravan in the 80s and early 90s? Wilk Amethyst.
Yeah. So there were 3. There was an amethyst, an emerald, and a topaz.
Topaz, correct. I had, and I promise you, when I say to you, luck to buy it and just lack of knowledge, about 8 years ago in Springs, I bought it from a lady whose husband passed away, and I just wanted the vehicle that they were towing it with, a Toyota Hiace Combi.
Yeah.
And she said, you can sell it, but not a condition, a request. Please take my caravan with it. We paid 15,000 Rand for a Wilk, the top of the range, the double wheel. It had the original, the most beautiful caravan you've ever seen. We take it to our office. My colleagues phone and they say, Mike, there's somebody here who wants to buy the caravan. Oh, God, please just let them take it, whatever they offer us. What did we pay for it? 15,000 Rand. Apparently, that thing would have been worth 60, 70, 80 at the time.
Yeah.
So
Especially if
sometimes
it was in good condition.
it was immaculate. Let me tell you, the saying ignorance is bliss, BS. Ignorance is not bliss.
Yeah.
Ignorance costs you money.
Yeah, well, because so what does one look for? I mean, we talk about buying caravans, like you say. What are we looking for? If I'm a newbie looking into getting into the whole culture of caravanning, You said wood rot as one?
Probably top line thing. Let's rewind a little step from there. What do you want to do with it?
Do caravanning.
So if you're gonna go caravanning,
Yeah.
if you're a 4x4 dude,
Yeah.
you need a more robust caravan. Caravans don't go down dirt roads. They can't 4x4. You get 4x4 products, but they are built for that kind of thing. So figure that out in your mind.
But if I'm going to Kruger Park, I'm going to one of the tented camps.
Yeah.
Or one of the tented bush camps.
normal.
Could I go in a normal caravan on those
Yeah.
quality dirt roads?
If it's a very quality dirt
Yeah.
road, sure, and you take it easy. If you're going to do, say for instance, you're going to do the road in Botswana from Maun to
no
Chobe,
chance.
you would need the new Sprite Tourer kind of stuff.
Okay.
If you go with your luxury caravan, you'll leave it there.
Just
in different places.
No, so if bush
Yeah,
is
yeah.
your thing,
Then you need a robust.
probably need to look more at sort of a trailer with a tent on top,
yeah.
that sort of a groove.
Yeah.
Space, where are you going to put it? So you can store them off-site. That's another cost. 700-800 rand a month to park it off-site. If you park it off-site, you got to pack the bloody thing. So now you got to put all the cuck in it, take it to where it's stored, put all the cuck in the caravan. That's
Is it
like a
because
whole...
you fear that it's going to get stolen? The stuff
No,
that's in
not
it?
stolen. It's
Yeah.
just, it's a big thing to park. They generally don't go through a garage door.
On behalf of the Caravan Association of South Africa, Africa, Europe, and the world, please delete what he's just said because nobody's going to buy a caravan after hearing that.
So they don't fit through garage doors.
Yeah.
My new one fits in the garage.
Yeah.
So if you have space and you have a carport and it's tall and you know Jurgen's exclusive is going to go in there, great. Double axle caravans tow beautifully because they stand on their own, but they
They're not.
turn like a bastard.
Okay.
So if you've got to move it at home by hand,
Interesting.
Trouble. Yeah.
you're going to need 4 sons,
Yeah.
proper, with guns like Gugus,
Yeah.
to move it.
Yeah.
So my wife and my first caravan, it was a total doddle to move around at home. Leonora and I did it on our own. The kids were small. The bigger caravan was a lot
Is
more
that where you
challenging.
get that crabbing as well?
Yeah.
Because I've got a boat trailer. One has got a single wheel, exactly what you said. Absolute easy. The one
Yeah.
with a double wheel is just a disaster to move. Yeah.
Yeah. Because essentially the wheels can't turn.
Correct.
So when you ask it to turn,
Oh, because you've
wheels
got
are
2
scrubbing.
wheels. Yes.
Correct. Two wheels
yes.
are scrubbing. That's what I said.
Two
You got
wheels are
that
scrubbing.
crabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're very difficult to maneuver
Yeah.
by hand. There are products called movers that you can have put in and then you move it with a remote control.
Expensive.
Where do you want to go? Cost? Set yourself a budget. What I would probably say, if your budget is 100 grand, you could have not anything, but then you could say, I like this one. I don't like the look of that one. This one looks nice. I like the way that one's tent looks.
Right.
This one's layout is great. If your budget's 50 grand,
Beggars can't be choosers.
beggars can't be choosers, and then find the best condition one you can find.
For that money.
Then don't stress too much about, it's a
Well, amethyst,
1988.
15 grand.
Yeah.
Can I have it back, please?
Yeah, 1988, or it's green, I want a pink one, or whatever the case is. Then you just look for the best one you can find because they will leak.
Yeah.
Parts are becoming scarce. So with parts becoming scarce, service it, look after it, and then you're going to love it.
You're good to go.
Tow slowly. I did quite a serious wood rot and structural repair to my previous caravan, and I used to tow everywhere. Modern cars can tow in 120.
Yeah.
And then Michael, shame. Michael is also a Michael. He's recently deceased. The guy who owned, I remember the place now, but at Pretoria Caravans, they had the workshop. And he said to me, he's like, dude, the whole thing, all the ribbing, everything is loose. What are you doing? So I'm like,
So you're hurting the
yeah,
caravan.
I'm like, I'll just tow. He's like, Nia, how fast are you towing? I go, 120. He's like, Nia, bro.
Too fast.
Your caravan's 30 years old.
Yeah.
You're hurting
Old
it.
girl, gentle, slowly, 100 k's an hour.
Yeah.
Bring your tire pressures down. So I inflate my tire pressures now to 2.5 bar. A lot of people go straight up to 3 bar.
On the caravan?
Yeah, they pump them like train wheels. So I do 2.5 bar. You get very little sway. Just absorbs, makes it a little bit softer. It's a wooden box, so a little bit softer. We tow far. We do 3 far holidays a year. We try in any case. We're towing down to Hartenbos in December. That's 1,300 k's. That's going to be like.
Sorry to cut you off there, but speaking of that, you're doing long distance, right? So you tow a lot. My final question to you, last one, and I'll keep it brief. Ideal tow vehicle. Briefly, what's the ideal tow vehicle?
There are 3 that lend themselves beautifully to towing. A double cab is very good at it, and there's place to put stuff in the back.
Okay.
Dirty bras, etc., etc. If you need more seats, a 7-seat SUV, Fortuner, Pajero Sport, MUX, Everest, they are all very good at it. They all are rated to tow 3.5 tons. Some of them slightly less, but a double cab and an Everest and a Fortuner are rated at 3.5 tons, which is the highest rating in the country in South African context.
Okay.
So these guys with big boats and big things, 3.5 tons, their motors, their gearboxes, they've got 4x4 drivetrains. They're geared for it. They can do it. I really enjoy towing with a bus. Caravans hide behind them, and there's more space.
From an aerodynamic point of view.
And there's more space in it for my kids. So, the minute you don't have kids touching each other, his legs touching me, my toys have gone missing. So I enjoy towing with buses. They're comfortable. They work well. The sliding doors is really good. I will stick my neck out and I will give you unrivaled tow vehicles. Ford's trailer anti-sway control in Ranger and Everest is unrivaled in the industry. It is ridiculous. There is not a more stable tow car than a Ranger or an Everest.
Wow.
Big things, Land Rover Defender and Range Rovers on air suspension, they come close. But I'll also say you can't tow very far with those things because you're going to need to take a Toyota with you to get home because the Land Rover is going to break before you get to go.
There you go.
So that's a mean comment.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
now, June, July, Eland.
Yeah.
Guys came in at like 9 o'clock at night with a 1.9 Isuzu Bucky. And next morning I said to the oak, I'm like, that was a bit late. And he's like, we were next to the road for 8 hours. Disco
Shame,
4,
man.
head cylinder, head gasket,
Fun.
done.
But one of the pieces of advice that I would like to give, when you're towing, do not underestimate how heavy a caravan is. 1,600 kilos you indicated, and that's not an overly heavy caravan.
No.
It's not dead weight, but it's still weight that's not rolling like a car. You've got to have power in reserve.
Yeah.
That Isuzu that you mentioned, and I love the Isuzu brand. A 1.9 litre Isuzu Bucky is not the right vehicle
If
to
you
be
take
pulling.
it easy.
Hey?
If you take it easy.
You've just got nothing in reserve.
Yeah, but bring yourself down to 100 k's an hour.
And just relax.
You'll be just chill.
Yeah.
Just relax. It's not a race.
Yeah.
The dude with a V8 Range Rover, I mean, he can pull an exclusive at 160 k's an hour. He can do whatever he likes. If you're in a Lichtenbroek tow vehicle, just rein it in a little bit and you'll be fine.
But in terms of ease of towing, so to give you an example, that is genuinely what I drive, a V8 Range Rover, the autobiography. You don't need to drive fast. But when you want to go up a mountain pass at 80, 90, whatever the right speed is, it's effortless. You're not working the car. And when you're not working the car, you're not working yourself.
Yeah.
You drive an underpowered car. It is properly tiring.
Yeah,
you
you're
feel like
buggered.
you're in the wrong
Yeah, you're
lane.
tired.
You feel like it's horrible. 5 litre V8 minimum, and I mean,
5 litre V8 petrol minimum.
and a petrol card.
And a fuel card. A CHANGECARS fuel card.
Yeah.
Mike on the podcast said if you buy a 5 litre V8 and tow it, he'll give you a company fuel card.
There you go. Kaput. Kaput. So I think we've summed it up there. Get a big vehicle. Get a petrol card if you're going to go V8.
Yeah.
And tow away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking to buy a new or used car? Visit changecars.co.za.
All right, so we've got a question from Tamron. I assume Tamron is female. She needs advice, right, on a car she can buy with less than 50,000 kilometers on it and keep it until August 2025. Sorry. Now, the reason behind that is that her husband will be taking up a contract in Dublin in 2025, August. So that sort of gives her 2 years of ownership in the car. Now, she's concerned about resale value, understandably, and she wants something that's going to give her a balance between luxury and sportiness, performance, but she also wants hassle-free ownership and is not looking for a Chinese vehicle, Indian vehicle, or Malaysian. So nothing from those regions, luxurious and performance. What do you think?
Nissan Qashqai.
Okay.
for me, that is
Current one.
Hey, the current Nissan Qashqai.
The new Qashqai.
Yeah, I think it's an absolutely lovely car. I mean, budget was not a particular concern for her.
I was
Yes.
just going to ask, what is the
Budget's not a
budget?
particular concern. 600,000-700,000 rand, she can do it. I think the new Qashqai or the new X-Trail is magnificent. Low risk vehicle, looks good, got all the features. I mean, typically we would have said Havel, the Cherry, not what she wants. Proton, not what she wants. If you're looking at German, are you thinking more along the lines of German?
I'm thinking because it's 2 years, limited, I'm thinking whatever's going to be easier to get rid of.
Agility.
And the car that she's going to lose the least on in the 2 years is likely to be a Toyota of sorts. So I would say if you could get one, I would probably do a RAV hybrid.
I would have gone the
nice
same.
car.
Yeah.
The RAV hybrid is sublime to live with.
know.
It's beautifully light on fuel. It's a luxurious car. If you look at it now,
No, for a
luxury
RAV4,
cars,
it's properly luxury.
luxury cars have moved on a bit again. But modern RAV is luxurious.
proper.
It's got seat heaters. It's got all the rest. The hybrid will do 5.4 liters per 100 every day of the week. I think it's about 680 grand to buy the GX, and there is a VX at 750-ish, I think. So whatever her budget is should be. But that car, in 2 years' time,
Will be in high demand.
people will
I would
be
agree with you.
climbing over themselves.
I've given Tamron great advice. You've given her absolutely superb advice. Tamron, it's 2-1. You're going with what they're suggesting.
Yeah,
RAV.
there
right?
you go. I'll do that.
Awesome. Brendan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
It's been insightful. It's been a cool chat.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Learning about caravanning in the bush.
You're coming with next time.
Oh, yeah, I will try. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's snakes and stuff? No, not for me.
No, there's no snakes.
Really?
You go to good places.
Okay.
I saw the most beautiful personalized number plate when you talk about the boss when
Yeah.
we were in KZN this weekend. It said, Kak in die Bos, ZN.
Kak in the bush.
Promise you.
Done. Klar.
Done.
Kak in the
We're
bush.
coming with.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mike, thank you as well. See you
Thank
next
you.
time.
That's a guarantee.
And finally, thanks to you for tuning in and listening. And if you found value in this episode, please do not forget to rate, like, subscribe to our podcast. We'd really, really appreciate that. And if you're looking for a vehicle, whether it be a new or used vehicle, car, bike, caravan, boat, whatever it is, get onto the ChangeCars website. That's what we do, right? We sell cars and we buy vehicles. And the best part is that you won't get scammed. So we make sure of that. If you're looking for insurance, click on the Discovery tab on the website and you will get an obligation-free quote.
For South Africa's best motoring content, catch all things motoring on DSTV channel 189 and on YouTube. New episodes every week.